Yo, what's going on, guys? Master Baby, and I'm back for Sapphire power rankings. So, like I did last episode in the Mega Ruby power rankings, I'll be doing the same thing, but for Alpha Sapphire. If you don't know what Alpha Sapphire is, it is the second half of SCL, the second division. You could say the D League, but I wouldn't consist of the D League. They did draft separate to Omega Ruby, so the teams are still going to be as stacked as Omega Ruby. But yeah, so let's get right into this anyways without wasting a lot of time. So as you can see, I pulled up all of the teams on one doc like I did last week. So yeah, let's go right into it. So my number 10 was very, very hard to find because I was trying to think of ways wall breakers could really get through their team, and it's very, very hard to think because everyone has a really good balanced team. I feel like some are better than others, but all of them are very, very good. I find it was pretty hard to find a pretty good reason why they're in that spot. But other than that, like I said, this is all opinionated by me, so don't take great assault that I put you in number 10 or a low spot. Just end up proving me wrong. But yeah, if you guys want to look forward to today or tomorrow, I'll probably be posting the week 1 matchups. But yeah, so look forward to that. So let's get right into this. So my number 10 spot, like I said, it was very, very hard to decide, especially because everyone has a really good team, is the Ontario, I don't know how to say that, but whatever. And the, coach, TBH Josh. I picked this team because, he doesn't have any cores that I can see. Yes, you don't need cores to make a team. He has a good Volt turn when me and Sean Galvantula, and Galvantula can help him set up webs, for all of his speedsters that he has. He has Superior and Excadrill and, Aerodactyl Mega that can be packing a lot of punch. He just doesn't have a lot of bulk. He has a lot of good offense with Superior and these four and him. He has a spinner and a good defog, not a really good defog either, and I want to defog a lot. He has another spinner over here. He has a decent ground types and different types, but I don't see a lot of synergy in his team, type synergy personally. He slaps on a good fairy type with a Wish Protector and Aromatisse. He doesn't have a dragon type or steel, a decent Wally steel type. Without a dragon type, I do not think his team is not going very far. Maybe he could try to pick up a very, very low tier dragon type. I really don't think he needs Sharpedo in this situation because he already has 2 stacked water types that can both set hazards. Oh wait, can you set hazards? No, you can. Anyways, but a setting hazard setter, and he only has 1 Stealth Rock user, well, 2 Stealth Rock users, but using Aerodactyl for utility will really, really hurt him because it does have a great attack stat and a speed stat, and Tough Claws do boost up a lot of his moves, right? But I can really see him have issues with tanking hits. Yes, he has wall breakers, but he has absolutely zero defense. Superior is probably one of his bulkiest mons, and that's kind of sad to say. Aromatisse is pretty bulky, but his stats show that he's not that greatly bulky. So he's going to have a lot of issues with, taking hits, and, no, he won't have a lot of issues dealing hits, so he's practically just trying to hit them before they hit you type of basis. I know he'll have a lot of speed control, but I think that's about it. He'll have some momentum, but he doesn't have a lot of momentum switches in to take hits. I do see a lot of common weaknesses in fire is really, really threatening against his team. Yes, he has water types, but they're not pretty prevalent water types. Sharpedo can't really take a lot of hits, and Quag and Quillfish might have to come every single week, so it's very, very predictable. Yeah, so, he just doesn't have a lot of defense on his team, so that's why I put him at number 10. But, I think he can definitely change up his team and maybe show what he's actually looking, because Josh is, an interesting player when it becomes into Pokemon. So next, moving on, I do have, coming in at number 9, is the Oceanside Oshawotts and the Coach Cheetah. Don't get me wrong, I love his team. He has really, really good bulk and Tangrowth and Umbreon and Arcanine. He has 2 good spinners here. Miss Magius is a very good spin blocker, and he has Megalop and Aggron and Golbat. He has a very good overall team, but in yesterday's episode, I don't think he has a ton of offensive power. Tango that I have this season, that I find that he has good attack stats, but I feel like he's somewhat passive. You can run a Sulfur or a Sleep Powder set, but it's very, very hard to go on, and Umbreon's is pretty good setup fodder, and you can easily try to get set up on a couple of his mons like Blastoise or something, and really do a lot of damage there. But don't get me wrong, he has a really good offense, two offensive sweepers in Mega Lop and Scolipede that you should not sleep on. With Sword Stance and like Power Punch, you can get some nice setup. With Scolipede, can be very, very threatening. But as well as ground types can really, really hurt him. Tangrowth is a wall there, but he will get eventually chipped down. And Rocks will make him have to bring Blastoise, Claydol, or Golbat almost every single week. Umbreon overall is just a very good fighting type, but if he wants to run coverage, he has to bring Miss Maggie's. Like, he's pretty predictable on what 6 he has to bring. He can't really have ways to like get him. His team is pretty linear on like what their jobs have to be doing. Like, he has a good Fire, Water, Grass core, but their jobs are pretty linear. Like, Arcanine can't really run a lot of physical sets due to the fact that it needs to be defensive for Tangrowth. And same with Tangrowth for Arcanine, like, and same with Scolipede. Like, and needs to, like, and Umbreon has to run a defensive set, like, he can't run an offensive, and Lopunny's pretty linear. Like, he has, like, Mons that do one job, and that's what he has to run for them, or it really won't work out, because he doesn't have a lot of versatility, with his Mons. Like, Arcanine and Tangrowth are probably the best two, utility, like couldn't run special physical wise, but everything else is very, very linear with what their attack stats. Scolipede, you will not see a lot of run special, same with Mega Lop. Blastoise is pretty linear on what his job is doing, and same with Claydol. He can run a little bit of mixed bias, but I don't see him running a lot of mixed sets, especially when he has to probably run Rapid Spin. It's his only ground type, so Volt Switch does destroy his team if he doesn't bring it every single week, unless he brings Manectric, but it's not the safest switch in. Miss Maggie's role is pretty linear. It can be a special defensive tank, but it only can run special attacks, which I feel like people can prep for and really get around his team, because he doesn't have insane offensive power, but he does have offensive power there. But overall, I think Cheetah U team is pretty good. To be honest, I do think you can go far in this league. It's just that your team isn't like one of the top things on my radar right now. So, but yeah. So moving on, I do pick up the Seattle Super Sceptiles as my number 8 pick. Sorry. Don't get me wrong. This team is really good. I just like don't really know the player that well, and I'm basing it off of his draft. But like, I can see a lot of holes that he can be going with. Latios is Latios Mega, Heatran, and Blissey are very good to combo well with each other. Rotomosh, Heatran, and Roserade are very good. The only thing I think on his team is that he has no hazard control, really. He can set hazards with Mons, but he only has like Latios with Defog that can really do a lot of things. Do you get Defog? No, you don't. But yeah, with hazards, Latios is the only one that can really defog, and I don't think he wants to bring Latios Mega, not even Latias, that's a little bit more defensive, and defog every single roll. But if he does, that's his choice. It just helps out the other opponent, because Latias does have a really good move pool, and it can run physical because it is Latios Mega, and it can set up with D-Dance, and it can do this and this and this. But I do think hazards will end up being his downfall. He doesn't have the best Mons to have reliable recovery. He has Blissey and Roserade and Latios, but Blissey is a very good Mon, but it's very passive, and I don't think he can punish a lot of things that can set up and sweep in Blissey's face. He can set, or like, if it walls out Rotomosh, he can set up in his face and really do a ton of damage to his team. I don't think he has a lot of offensive power, like, and his speed stats are all over the place, with Latios Mega being his fastest Mon in 110, and nothing really other than like Ambipom comparing up to it. Ambipom is faster Mon, but like it's Ambipom. But like after these two, not a lot of and Sceptile. Sorry, after these three, a lot of things like these two don't have like the speed stat to really threaten a lot of his Mons, so you can really run like a little bit more HP, and you can definitely speed creep on this team, which I can see. He does have sort of like a ground thing, like Latios Mega is his switch-ins, but like if Latios Mega dies, I think his team falls apart pretty badly. Rotomosh is always that switch, but you can always hit him with like just get a lot of chip on Rotom, and he only has Pain Split to recover reliably. But yeah. I do think this team deserves this number 8 spot. It relies a lot on Latios Mega, and Latios Mega is like gonna be like his number 1 go-to thing. He has to like really rely on that thing. And if you want to beat this team, if you knock out Latios Mega, you can set up sweep and probably do a lot of damage to his team. But yeah, so going on forward, I do still like his team. He does have great core synergy. He has a decent Volt. Do you get U-turn? No. No, he has a good Volt Switcher in Rotomarsh, don't get me wrong, and Latios Mega does complement Rotomarsh very, very well. But yeah, so moving on forward. Oh, plus, oops, sorry, wrong thing. Where are you? You're down here. If you have a Mold Breaker Mon, destroys all of his team because he only has 2 Levitate users. He doesn't have a genuine flying type, by the way. And it's just another thing. So moving on to my number 7 pick of Alpha Sapphire of Power Rankings, I do pick the Charlotte Beedrills. So the Charlotte Beedrills do have a very, very good team, and they end up not picking up a Mega this season, which that's totally cool with them. I've done that trend. But they do have a very, very good weirdly team. They do make that Dragon Fairy Steel Cold with Cobalion and Sylveon and Tyrantrum. Tyrantrum not the most reliable Dragon type, but it's always there. Mew and Weavile are very, very good. Like I said in the last thing, he doesn't have a way to get down like hazards a lot. Mew in that role and Omaldo in that role, and I guess Mega, but he takes 50% to rocks. Really, really will chip down his team, especially with like Weavile and like Magmortar and Yamega, like I said. Really could hurt his team. His speed stats are pretty good with Cobalion and Weavile being their offensive threat, and Cobalion is a monster in this league. He can run special or physical, can set up South Rocks. Sylveon is very, very nice for Mew if he runs a bulky Mew set, but I do feel like he does lack a little bit of offensive power. Cobalion's not the best offensive mon. It's more of a defensive pivot. I like to use it as because its attack stats aren't that good. Weavile is very, very threatening in this meta. But yeah, I feel like this team does lack offensive power in a way. It just on paper it just looks very, very bad. But I feel like it does have a lot of potential, so that's why I put it at number 7. Yeah, that's why. But Mew is also very threatening, and you have to like really prep for his Mew because he can run it a lot of ways. He can run it as a sweeper, he can run it as anything that he really wants to. He can be a fill-in mon. But other than that, like his team is pretty basic. Like his type synergy is okay. He has a decent Volt Switch U-turn combo with like of Cobalion and Mew and Yamega, right? And Otomo, sorry. But yeah, other than that, like his team is decently well. It does okay with dealing with a lot of types. I just feel like he's gonna lack a little bit on defense. Like Sylveon Cobalion is really good. A special defensive wall and a physical defensive wall. But yeah, other than that, I feel like he'll just have troubles with better wall breakers that can easily take out Weavile and then just wall break his whole team. But other than that, there's not a lot to say about it. But I do like his team pretty much. So going into my number 6 pick, it is the Chicago Cub Chews and the coach Not Leo. I do like Not Leo's team. It's super defensive with Altaria Mega, Slowbro, Ferrothorn, Cofagrigus. The only thing why it's this low is because I don't think you'll have a lot of offensive power. Like Embo and Healerless can do work. Altaria Mega can do work. His fast mon is Healerless with 109. I just don't think Healerless will provide the best offensive thing, but he doesn't really need to. But the only thing is, I feel like he can easily get set up on. I know Haze is a thing with Cofagrigus. Ferrothorn and Slowbro do well, but Ferrothorn doesn't have a really good, reliable way to recover, other than like Leech Seed and Giga Drain and stuff. Slowbro does obviously have good regeneration, and Altaria Mega does round that off pretty well, and he has a really good Fairy Dragon Steel Core with Ferrothorn and Altaria Mega. But I do find like his lack of offense might be his downfall this season. He does have a tremendous bulk, but I feel like something that can easily set up and like have like 3 other coverage moves can really put a hole in his team if he doesn't bring like the right things to kill it, and especially as well as like a Wish Heal Bell passer could really hurt him. Just because like it'll be maybe like a stall fest against the guy. But yeah, to be honest, this is gonna be really quick because he has a really good team. I just feel like his offensive power will be his downfall on why he won't like go insanely far this season. So next, moving on, I have the Dallas Cobalions as my number 5 slot. sorry. Wait, yeah, number 5, right? Yeah, number 5 slot. Oop, sorry. I do like the Dallas Cobalions team a lot. It's so offensive. Thunderstone, Azumarill, Gyarados, Hydreigon, Venusaur, like, it's so good. Mega Medicham. His team is so offensive. It's really nice. Gyarados really complements Thunderstone's electric community, and same with Hydreigon. And Azumarill with Sap Super could really just like eat up a lot of things, especially with thick fat or huge power. Like, it's really, really good. It does complement Gyarados, and it is a pretty viable setup threat, especially with Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee. I just feel like his lack of offensive power, like, could really be his downfall, because he doesn't have a lot of ways to recover nicely. Like, he actually almost has none. Like, all of his sweepers can't really recover, so he can't really run life. Like, he can run life roll, but he'll die eventually, right? As well as he doesn't have a good way to get rid of hazards. I think Hitmonlee is his only option. So yeah, hazards or sticky webs could really hurt Gyarados and Gyarados and Thunderstone, because they both take 25%, and sticky webs could really do damage against Mega Medicham, apologies. But yeah, I feel like his team is very, very offensive, and I feel like he's still on that kill first, and don't, like, you have to hit him first, every single time. His speed stats are pretty good, here and there. He has really good raw offensive power, which I really will like to see. I'll want to watch this season. That's why he's number 5 on my list. I do think he can go pretty far with this team. I just feel like defensively wise, he can really get destroyed, really badly. Like, he has no like things to take a hit, maybe Hydreigon or like Excavalier. He doesn't have a fairy type, so he does have a fairy type, never mind. So he does have a fairy dragon steel core, as I see, but it's pretty good. He can definitely punish people with Azumarill with Belly Drum, and he can always set up with Gyarados and Thunderstone and Hitmonlee and stuff. It's gonna be great to watch. So coming at number 4, I do have the Australian Lowland Ninetails. So I put Australian Lowland Ninetails at number 3, just because I do like his team. He has a really good Fire, Water, Grass core, and a Dragon Steel Fairy core, but Dragon isn't the most reliable Dragon type. It does put in work, because it is a good Stealth Rock user, and it has a really good attack stat, but I just don't think he'll bring it every single week to soak up a lot of hits. Moongus, Milotic is a really good core. I just feel like ground types really, really do hurt his team. If he decides to bring Aerodactyl every single week, he has to bring Aerodactyl, but it's not the bulkiest thing. So I do think that ground types do end up like getting a lot of chip on his team. His speed stats are pretty good with Milotic and Aerodactyl. I just feel like that ground type thing, he doesn't have a reliable switch in. Other than Aerodactyl Mega, he has to run something physical defensive. Maybe Avalok can come in sometime this week. Milotic might have to fill that role almost every single time. But like I said before, Aerodactyl does get a lot of roost, and he can heal, but I feel like it's not the bulkiest thing. He can't really take a lot of hits. Yeah, look at his defenses. Offensively, going forward, I do think Milotic and Amoonguss are pretty passive. Gardevoir Mega is an insane threat to the whole entire Gen 6 meta. He has really good offensive typing with Scizor and Mega Gardevoir. Scizor will be able to sweep up anything that Gardevoir leaves alive. And Infernape's really good with its mixed priority and its just mixed attacking capabilities overall. I do think his team does really well, but like I said before, anything with a really good wall breaker, if it breaks down one of his types, if Amoonguss or Milotic dies, it really puts a hole in his team. Because he only has really one type for everything, and he tries to cover. He has a type for every single mon is almost every single mon is a different type. But I do feel like I said, one of his mons do fit one of his roles. So if he loses offensive sweeper, he loses a really big offensive sweeper. So if Infernape goes down very, very early, he needs Gardevoir or Scizor to really step up to put a lot of pressure, and that could cause a lot due to the fact that Gardevoir doesn't get a lot of good reliable recovery, and it does get pain split. But other than that, like, I feel like if he loses one of his walls, it's gonna be very hard too, especially if it's a ground type sweeper like Excadrill or something, or Lando could really hurt his team. But yeah, overall, I do think he has a really good team, and he is one of a top tier threat in this meta. So next, going on to number 3 is the Dublin Drillblers and your boy Lily or Healy. On paper, this team does not look strong at all, but I think it's very strong. Talonflame, the best revenge killer in Gen 6 meta, because Gale Wings is like not nerfed. And Starmie and Chestnut do complement it well for that Fire, Water, Grass core, and her speed stats, are really good, especially with Talonflame and Starmie. Empress Mega is a monster this season. I have it this season, and she has it this season. It just really destroys things with Mold Breaker. It's really scary. Chestnut does eat a lot of ground hits for her team, especially with Diancie and Doublade. I do feel like her team on paper is a little bit weaker, but overall I do think she will like destroy with this team. Krookodile, she has insane type synergy. She has Volt Turn capabilities. She has like almost everything. She has a ghost type to block spinners, and she can set up in your face. A lot of her mons can set up in your face and like just put damage on you. The only thing is, on paper, I feel like their stats aren't the best, and like she has to maybe rely to honor lower tiers to bring like something every week to like put in a lot of work, and every single week I feel like she will have to have her lower tiers to bring in every work. But I do really enjoy looking at her team, and like I think it's a very deserves the top 3 spot in power rankings. So yeah, that's about it. Going on to number 2, I do have the Camillus Caracostas. Just look at his team. Enough said. Kyurem Black, Clefable, Aegon Mega, so scary. Rotom, Heat, Shaman, him on top's really good. He makes that Fire, Water, Grass core with Rotom, Heat, Shaman, Suicune. Overall, he has an insane bulky attacking team. He has setup capabilities with Clefable and Suicune. Aggro and Mega can always set up Stealth Rocks. The only thing I put this at number 2 instead of number 1 is Hazard could really hurt him. Kyurem Black and Rotom take 25%, and those two probably will really help him in later the game. He does have really good Volt Turn with Swellow and Rotom Heat. Suicune overall is really good paired with these two, as they're both all bulky and they could really work well, especially like Rest Shaman or Rest Tox Suicune. Pain Split Rotom. Rotom doesn't get the most reliable recovery, but Clefable does get worse, I think. Hopefully. Yeah, it does. It could really help, and Clefable is a really big top tier threat, the same with Kyurem Black. The only thing is his only spinner is Hitmontop, so if he wants to get rid of hazards, he can really only bring Hitmontop every single match as a spinner, but I do like it as its role as a spinner. I just feel like if he doesn't bring Hitmontop 1 week, he could get easily hazard stack and kind of get destroyed in a way with hazards, because he just doesn't have insane capabilities of taking a lot of hits, because he wants to keep Kyurem Black and Rotom Heat healthy and Suicune really relatively healthy, so they don't get one shot, But other than that, I do like his team a lot. There's not a lot of bad things to say and a lot of good things to say about it. So I'm just gonna end it quick and short that Zard, I think you have a top tier team, and I do think the Furious Flygons do have the top draft in this Alpha Sapphire draft. Just look at this team: Victini, Lando, Empoleon, Haxorus, Venusaur, Megazord, Hoopa. He has almost everything. He has Electros. Is a great flying type in Lando. Victini is an insane wall breaker. These two will wall break a lot of teams, and he has defog support with the Empoleon, and he has Stealth Rock support, so Lando doesn't have to bring up rocks. Haxorus with Mold Breaker is insane with that, especially with that 147 attack stat, and he makes an insane Fire, Water, Grass core with Empoleon and Victini, and Mega Venus, so it can be very threatening. Flying types don't really hurt him because he has Electros, but he does have to bring Electros almost every single week. And Psychic types don't really because Victini resist and Empoleon resist. And Hoopa's there just to sit there to be a very good special defensive wall if he really wants to there. And look at its stats. It's very, very good. And Xatu, I don't know why I picked up Xatu. Maybe just for another ground immunity. Ancient Ninja, probably there for the meme or something. Zoroark is very, very good with his speed. I do think his speed stats will be his downfall because Victini and Zoroark are his fastest mons. Other than that, I do think Dragons can kind of rip through his team, but as number one, I do think his type synergy and his Volt Switch and his Volt Turn accessibility will be really, really good this season. As his number one, I do think his team is the best that could be. I just really do love his team, and I really am excited to see what he can do with that team. So overall, that is my power rankings. I will go over quickly my power rankings. So I have... sorry, where is he? The Ontario Okaroas at number 10, Oceanside Oshawott at number 9, Seattle Super Sceptiles at number 8. I have the, where is he? I don't freaking know anymore. I have the Charlotte Beagles at number 7. I have the, oh my god, I don't remember. Dallas, I think the Dallas Cobalions at number 6. Chicago Cub. No, I have the Chicago Cub Jews at number 6. Sorry, the Dallas Cobalions at number 5. Oops, sorry. What was my number 4? Oh, the Australian Lowland Ninetails at number 4. The Dublin Triples at number 3. Apologies. And then I have the Carmelis Caracostas at number 2, and the Furious Flyguns are at number 1. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed my power rankings. That's what my thoughts are. So hopefully I'll like to see you guys all ready to go for week 1, and I'm very, very excited to announce week 1 is going to be coming out very, very soon. Anyways, so thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.